David, does Bud have a chance against Canelo?
I think he does, bro. I think if anybody could beat Canelo, I think Bud, his IQ and his experience will definitely help him through. It's just that, you know what I mean? He's going up 2 other weight classes when he had just went up to 154.
Caleb Plant has finally discussed the highly anticipated fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, and his assessment has generated a lot of interest.
Stylistically, this is just my last follow-up. Do you think Canelo should be the favorite in the fight because he's bigger, or do you see he had trouble with Skull, his speed? Terence is going to throw a lot more, and he has that speed also.
Regardless of however the fight itself plays out, I feel like the betting people will probably have Canelo as the favorite.
Plant, who has personally experienced Canelo's strength, clarified that this bout will not be like anything viewers have recently witnessed. And he stated unequivocally that the Mexican superstar versus American pound-for-pound gray fight is going to have a whole different vibe. With the date approaching, the excitement surrounding this conflict, which has been building for months, is at an all-time high. One of the biggest spectacles in contemporary boxing history will take place at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas on September 13th. Crawford is making his debut foray into the super middleweight class with the goal of unseating Canelo, the current undisputed champion weighing 168 pounds.
Your favorite, Canelo or Crawford?
Canelo.
What do you think the most significant part about that champion
That he's comfortable at 168, you know, that he's been fighting there. He went and collected all the belts at that weight class. Crawford, of course, Crawford has a chance. He has a big chance, you know, being one of the pound-for-pound fighters of the world. But it's just the advantage of being there first. You know what to expect in that weight class. Crawford's coming off a 154 fight that he fought last year. So I really don't consider him even a 154. He's been fighting at 147 for a while. He had that one fight at 154, and then he stopped fighting for a year again. So, you know, of course he's probably been training, you know, again, high-class fighter, but to be comfortable at 168, you're gonna have to do some fights in there. Going in there fighting the undisputed champion, it's difficult.
Plant, who was the IBF champion until Canelo took it away from him, gave his own analysis of the bout. In addition to being action-packed, he projected that there will be a lot more punches exchanged than in some of Canelo's previous fights. Crawford is rising weight classes, so he acknowledged that the odds will always favor the Mexican, but he wouldn't commit to a winner. According to him, fans should just enjoy this battle without attempting to make predictions too complicated.
It doesn't matter what the betting odds say, but, you know what I'm saying? I've been the underdog a couple times. Before they just got to the underdog, I became world champion. So, odds only mean so much. You know, once the bell rings, the fighters get to figure it out.
Do you think Canelo wins? Or do you think Terence wins? This is my last one.
Can't say. Can't say, don't know. I'm just as a fan, excited to see the fight. And from the boxing knowledge that I have, which I feel like is decent, I think it's going to be a good fight. I'm excited.
However, not everyone is as ambivalent as Plant. According to Mexican legend Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., one of the most well-known combatants the nation has ever produced, the situation is far more straightforward. Despite all of Crawford's talent and expertise, he is certain that Canelo's stature and strength will be too much for him. Chavez Sr. sees Canelo ending the bout before it even gets to the latter round because he thinks the weight and power disparity would eventually become apparent. He believes that the Mexican will be knocked out in the 6th or 7th round.
Bueno, es una pelea muy dispareja, la verdad. Crawford es un gran peleador, pero no tiene nada que hacer en ese peso. Con todo respeto, él va por el dinero y Canelo lo va a noquear.
The two fighters are going to be different weight classes, even though they're going to fight on a specific weight. He believes that they're just going because of the money, Crawford, but probably Canelo's going to knock him out.
Antonio Tarver has stated his unwavering faith in Crawford's ability to stun the world once more. Although he is aware of the risks involved with facing Canelo, Tarver maintains that Crawford's agility, mental acuity, and adaptability in the ring might give him the advantage.
Terence gotta be Terence, bro. He's a real deep thinker. He processed fights like nobody else. And he's processed this Canelo fight. He's seen it. He went through it 2 or 3 times already. He knows how this ends. You can tell the way he shadow boxes. He visualizing Canelo being right there in front of him. You understand? Look at the movement. That's all you got to do. Look at the movement. And that's the type of master boxer that Canelo is going to be facing. And the only thing I say is Canelo hasn't faced an opponent like this in a long time. You know what I mean? I think Canelo's going to have to go back to the Caleb Plant fight and look that good, that active, that, you feel me, moving with that type of grace to beat Terence Crawford. Because weight ain't gonna make the difference. It ain't gonna be the weight, it's gonna be the skill set.
Over Anthony Joshua. Ruiz did not discount Canelo's potential, although he has a lot of respect for him. He also made the point that fashion is more important than size. Ruiz reminded supporters that Crawford's left-handed stance and boxing acumen might cause serious issues for the champion, and that Canelo has previously struggled against slick southpaws. Ruiz himself was unable to declare a winner, instead choosing to declare the bout too risky for either side to be sure of.
Well, all I know is that if you were in a Canelo Crawford card, that card would be a million times. It's still an amazing card, but you would have added a lot. Who wins, Canelo or Crawford?
It's going to be a good fight, man. I'm going for Canelo, of course. You know, he's the Mexican warrior as well. And for Crawford, man, you can't neglect him or you can't underestimate him as well. You know, he has a lot of skills, a lot of movement. He's a lefty as well. That's what Canelo has trouble with. I think it's going to be an amazing fight, man. I just can't wait, and the best man wins.
Sanchez, a seasoned trainer, expressed a different worry on the cautious side. Sanchez underlined that the quick switch between several weight divisions in such a brief period of time would not be well received by Crawford's body. Crawford gains a significant amount of muscle mass in less than a year, but Sanchez maintained that it takes years to develop the kind of body required to withstand Canelo's might. He was concerned that Crawford's signature speed and quickness, which have always been essential to his success, may be diminished by the additional mass. Sanchez believes that Canelo will penalize him if those assets even slightly diminish.
To have a guy come up from 140 pounds in such a short period of time, I'm not saying he couldn't have done it. If he'd have taken 3 or 4 years like Canelo did and built up his, not only his strength, but his bulk in the correct way, he would have had a better chance. But to do it in these 14, 15 months that he's done it in.
Even one of the most intelligent boxers to ever enter a ring, Andre Ward, has expressed interest in the bout. Ward highlighted the similarities between the two combatants in order to draw comparisons. They are both more than just outboxers or sluggers. Rather, they are hybrids that combine strategy and accuracy with power. Either party's carelessness could lead to catastrophe.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can beat.
Eris Landell, who has a close relationship with Canelo from their contentious encounter years ago, believes that discipline and movement are Crawford's only chances of winning. Lara always depended on his legs, cunning defense, and capacity to irritate opponents. He thinks Crawford need to follow like. According to Lara, having intense conversations would only accentuate Canelo's advantages. Crawford may win rounds by remaining elusive, managing range, and making Canelo pursue. For Lara, it's more about poise and ring control than using force.
She sees it as a very interesting 50-50 fight. He feels that Canelo's very strong right now, and he wants to figure out to see how how Crawford's going to handle the power, especially in the early rounds, and what's going to happen. So yeah, he said he remembers fighting Canelo back 14 years ago it is now. And he said he remembers he used his legs real good, and as long as Crawford uses his legs and he doesn't let Canelo just hit him in the arms and beat him up in the arms, he has a very good chance of fighting.
Given that Khan has shared the ring with both men, his viewpoint is significant in and of itself. However, his interactions ended badly. Khan was smashed by Canelo's devastating right hand during one of his most vicious knockouts in 2016. 3 years later, Khan and Crawford squared off, but the bout ended in frustration when Khan's corner stopped the fight after he delivered a low punch. It's astonishing that Khan leans toward Crawford in spite of those unpleasant results. He believes that the Nebraska native has one of the best boxing minds and that Crawford may be a far more dangerous opponent than most people realize because to his underappreciated strength.
He might be even stronger than Canelo. He might be stronger than Canelo. He might pack the weight on well. That he might do really well in there. So look,
You fought them both. Like, what are the differences between them? Obviously, it's weight.
Canelo's strong and he's easily hit. Very easily hit, very easily. Compared to when I fought against Crawford, I couldn't hit clean.
Yeah.
So really, that's the difference. And they both hit hard. Because, and you can see the strength. You know, when I was fighting against Crawford, I didn't think Crawford was that strong, but when he kind of moved me around a little bit, he is very strong as well. So look, yeah, but why does he need to give that much away? He's pound for pound #1 in the world. Why does he have to go up and fight Canelo?
However, there are still many voices of concern. Increases fighter Prograis, who is renowned for his own aggressive approach, has cautioned against undervaluing Canelo's experience against more powerful opponents. Prograis mentioned men like Jen Golovkin and Sergey Kovalivan, who were strong and large but still couldn't overpower Canelo. He doesn't think Crawford can maintain his pace and punching power till 168. And according to Prograis, that might be the difference. It's possible that the gap and physical strength are just too much to overcome. Then there is the viewpoint of one of boxing's greatest boxers, Roy Jones Jr. Jones, who progressed through several categories during his career, is well versed in the requirements for success when increasing in weight. He thinks Crawford is truly the favorite going into this bout, in contrast to many others. Jones believes that Crawford is the more adaptable of the two, a fighter who can win in a variety of ways. Although he respects Canelo's strength and experience, he believes that Crawford's intelligence, adaptability, and hunger were the key determinants. To stay up, Canelo will have to engage in flawless tactical combat.
Fight that he can fight, the only correct fight that he can fight, he does have a chance, and I think he could be victorious. If he doesn't fight the one way that he can only fight to win it, Terence Crawford has 6 ways he can win it. And my money will go on a man who has 6 ways to win it.
So you think Canelo has to kind of fight? Let's talk about the weight a little bit, right? Because we all know everything you accomplished as a heavyweight. What is Terence?
The battle has captivated the boxing world's attention in a manner that few contests can, regardless of how the predictions turn out. There's good reason why some people refer to it as the battle of the century. Money, records, and belts aren't the only things involved. It concerns 2 of the greatest of this era coming together at a crucial juncture where their respective legacies are at stake. Different images are painted by Lance's cautious optimism, Chavez's audacious certainty, Tarver's conviction that skill matters more than size, Ruiz's focus and styles, Sancho's body-related worries, Ward's analytical breakdown, Lara's tactical recommendations, Khan's distinct personal insight, Prograis cautions, and Jones Jr.'s assurance. But none of those viewpoints will matter when the Allegiant Stadium's first bell rings. What transpires within those ropes will reveal the truth.